Welcome to World. Hi, I'm Ben. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel, click the like button below, let's dive in. Was Roman Britannia a drain on the Roman Empire? Over the last few weeks I've seen quite a bit of information and quite a few arguments crop up that say Roman Britannia was a drain on the Roman Empire and didn't provide the Roman Empire with many resources. I'm actually looking at a map which shows that nothing is exported from Britain, which is daft because there were things that were exported from Britain. So I don't know where these arguments are coming from, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. Many historians use the 3 legions being stationed within Britannia as a point of indicating that there was civil unrest within Britannia, and that was the need for 3 legions. But Britannia was a frontier of the empire, and along the frontiers of the empire there were legions stationed. In order for legions to cross the English Channel and get to Britannia, it would take time for them to respond to any threats. So in order for them to respond to threats effectively from enemy armies, it would probably be easier for them to have legions stationed there so they could quell the civil unrest quickly before it transpired into anything further, which is what we saw with the war with Boudicca and the Iceni. Within the province Britannia, the garrison stood at 52,700 in 135 AD under Emperor Hadrian. The garrison consisted of cavalry, legionnaires and auxiliaries. There were 3 legions stationed in Britain at that point, and 3 legions would remain stationed in Britain for the majority of Rome's rule. So the nearest garrison of that size was Arabia, Judea and Syria. Their garrison stood at 59,300. So the Britannia garrison is roughly about 11.8% of Rome's overall strength at that point. That's excluding the fleet that was based within the English Channel. Now, the province of Syria, Judea and Arabia only has a garrison of roughly around 7,000 more men, considering they had a massive revolt 65 years prior to that, or around 65 years. Now, it indicates that the Romans always thought that the Britons were always going to rebel with such a sizable army base there, because the frontier isn't as big, or if you look at Hadrian's Wall, it isn't as big as what the Germanic frontier is, and the Germanic frontier within Germania Inferior was garrisoned with 23,000 and Germania Superior was garrisoned with 25,000, and that frontier is considerably bigger than what the Britannia frontier was. So it always indicates that there's going to be a degree of civil unrest. So my question is, was it worth it? Was it worth it to supply such a sizable garrison there for the resources that the Romans were taking from Britannia and using within the rest of the empire? Lead mining was massive for the Roman Empire. They needed it for piping for the aqueducts. Aqueducts brought water into the larger towns or cities, and they allowed fresh water to be supplied. Lead was also used for coffins and gutters for villas. The largest Roman lead mines were initially located near the Rio Tinto River in southern Hispania. In Britannia, the largest sources of lead were located at Mendip, southwest England, and especially at Charterhouse. In AD 49, 6 years after the Roman invasion of Britain, the Romans had the lead mines of Mendip and those of Derbyshire and Shropshire, Yorkshire and Wales running at full pell. By AD 70, Britannia was producing so much lead that it had overtaken the Hispania producing mines. The Spanish soon becoming wary of this, they lodged a complaint with Emperor Vespasian, who put limits on the amount of lead that was produced within Britain because they were driving the Spanish prices down. However, lead production continued to increase. An interesting fact is that lead was used within Pompeii, and it was the town that was destroyed by the eruption of the volcano within AD 79. Lead was also something really important because it was used within the extraction of silver. Gold was found within Wales, and the Romans mined it. They used a hydraulic mining method to mine the gold. There were many iron mines within Roman Britain. Iron was needed for the Roman war effort, and Britain was the fantastic place that produced abundance of iron. Romans used copper initially for things like armour and helmets and weapons before switching over to iron. There were copper mines within Britannia. There were copper mines within places like Llandudno, amongst other places. They used copper and bronze in things like plumbing related fittings, including tubing and valves and pumps. They also used it when minting coins. Was Roman Britannia a drain on the Roman Empire? Well, no. Roman Britain provided the Romans with plenty of resources that the Roman Empire needed in order to live a better and more civilised life. They needed the lead from the aqueducts, and they needed the gold and silver to trade, they needed the copper to help mint coins, they needed the iron for armour and weapons. So you've also got to consider that the Romans treated the Britons, in quotation marks, as barbarians, which means that they didn't see the Britons as equals to themselves. There was a sort of racism that was used within Rome, where the Romans felt that they were superior to barbarians, and they treated them as so. People always talk about Britannia being a province that was a drain on Rome, but they never talk about places like Germania Inferior and Superior being a drain on Rome, because them two required a sizable garrison. Within cases like Germania Inferior, crops were not able to grow substantially, just like they were in places like Egypt, where grain was shipped out, or North Africa, where grain was shipped out again, and North Africa was described as Rome's breadbasket because it supplied the empire with grain. So just because Britain required a sizable garrison doesn't mean that Britain was a drain on the Roman Empire. It was a key part of the Roman Empire, and it allowed the Romans to lead a better and more civilised life, and to have the home comforts and luxuries through the resources that Britain provided. Thank you very much for watching the video today. I hope you did enjoy. If you've got any different aspects of what you think the Romans did for Britain, or anywhere you'd like me to explore, or anywhere you'd like me to go, please just comment below. I always read the messages. I'm keen to hear your view on Roman Britain and the industry that Britain did have within the Romans period, because I think Britain was a stable part of the Roman Empire. I just think it was unfortunate of how the Romans treat the Britons, but I'm keen to hear your views. I want to know what you think, so let me know in the comment section. This video is part of the series Roman Britain. So last week I went to Hadrian's Wall and explored and uncovered everything about it. The week before that I did a video on Dever, which is Chester. So in future I plan to have a look at the rest of Roman Britain and what the Romans did for Britannia. I also plan to look at what the Romans did for the world. But if you've got any other topics you'd like me to cover, please comment in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. You've been here with Ben, watching World.